Oh my god, you guys! He's wearing the black suit! It's the black suit! It's the black suit! It's here! It's real! And it's finally coming! Hallelujah! All praises be to Snyder. The black suit is real and it is spectacular. So what's the big deal with this thing anyway? So San Diego Comic-Con was kind of weird this year, right? I mean, it was gonna be weird regardless given the current situation of the world, but it just didn't feel like Comic-Con in general, you know? It just was a bunch of Skype calls that anyone could watch from home. It was just missing the sense of pageantry that comes with a convention like this. It didn't have the sense of community that you get from walking around and hanging out with like-minded nerds. It was missing the sense of fun that you get from walking around the show floor and just buying a whole bunch of random crap. And yeah, sure, it was cool they found a way to do panels, but panels only make up a fraction of the convention-going experience. And even then, a panel without a live audience just isn't the same. Having said that, please be sure to check out our virtual panel at Uplink presented by the Long Island Retro Gaming Expo, August 8th and 9th. Now that's not to say cool things didn't happen at San Diego Comic-Con this year. We got to see a lot more of the New Mutants and it actually feels like this movie is a real movie that's gonna come out. That's exciting. There was some cool Star Trek stuff like Lower Decks and Prodigy. The Boys got renewed for season 3 even before season 2 debuted. And Bill and Ted Face the Music is gonna be available for digital download day and date with its theatrical release. And if your reaction to that wasn't to shout excellent and play air guitar, then you're probably dead inside.
Excellent!
But perhaps the biggest news from San Diego Comic-Con, or at least the news I kept seeing everywhere, was that Henry Cavill will indeed be wearing the black suit as Superman in Zack Snyder's Justice League. What's weird is that this news technically wasn't announced at San Diego Comic-Con. It was actually announced at JusticeCon, a separate virtual convention that happened to be going on at the same time as San Diego Comic-Con. On top of that, this was a fan-run convention. It was not sanctioned by Warner Brothers or DC. They were having their own convention, Fandome, at the end of August. This was completely put up by fans of Zack Snyder's Justice League work. And yet despite that, they had a pretty solid guest lineup. They had Zack and Deborah Snyder on board. They had Ray Fisher, always willing to dunk on Joss Whedon. And they got the guy who's going to be playing Darkseid in the Zack Snyder cut. And Zack Snyder was able to bring along a little something to help get the fans more excited than they already are. A short clip of Henry Cavill's Superman meeting Jeremy Irons' Alfred, only this time he's wearing a black suit rather than the traditional red and blue suit. Now the black suit is something that has been teased before. In the run-up to the release of Justice League, it had been rumored that at some point in the movie, Henry Cavill's Superman would don a black version of his traditional costume. This was seemingly confirmed by Cavill himself when he posted a picture on his Instagram page of a close-up of the black suit. But then the movie was released and there was no black suit to speak of in the entire thing. There would eventually be released deleted scenes of Henry Cavill in the Fortress of Solitude, and the black suit was behind him. He didn't even look at the damn thing, but that's about it. This made the black suit sort of symbolic of the entire Snyder Cut movement in general, something that Zack Snyder definitely wanted to put in his version of Justice League to complete his vision, but was removed from the final theatrical cut either by Warner Brothers or Joss Whedon or somebody who was not Zack Snyder. Now the clip that was shown at JusticeCon is actually a clip that we have seen before. In addition to the deleted scene of Superman in the Fortress of Solitude, Warner Brothers also released this scene shortly before the movie was released on DVD and Blu-ray. Except in that version, Superman is actually wearing the traditional blue and red outfit. And it turns out they filmed this scene with Henry Cavill wearing the black suit. Eventually, they were forced to change it in post-production by Warner Brothers to the classic suit. Apparently this was done before Zack Snyder officially left production. But now he's back and he gets to make Justice League his way, and that means the black suit returns in all of its glory. So now, what's the deal with this black suit? This isn't something Superman traditionally wears. We did see him wear a black suit in Man of Steel very briefly, but that was part of a vision or bad dream or whatever that General Zod made him have. Here, it looks like something he's wearing after he comes back to life from being dead. Well, you see, I think that's why people are excited for the black suit, given the context of everything. The black suit has become synonymous with the classic 90s story, The Death and Return of Superman. This suit, also known as the recovery suit or the solar suit, was designed to help rehabilitate Superman and bring him back to life after he had been killed by Doomsday. It was designed to absorb more solar energy than Superman could normally take in, thus speeding up his recovery process. He was actually put into this suit by the Eradicator, one of the 4 mysterious Supermen who appeared in Metropolis following Superman's disappearance. He had tried multiple methods and finally settled on the solar suit as the best option. After he was resurrected, Superman continued to use the black suit until he was back to full power. Until then, in order to fight evil, he used some of the most popular accessories of the 90s, big ass guns. So from a distance, it looks like Superman is wearing a black suit in Justice League for a similar reason to how he wore it in the comics, using it to get his full power back after being dead for a little while in order to help his friends beat the bad guy. Makes sense. But here's the thing, in the theatrical cut of Justice League, when Superman comes back from the dead, he already seems to be at full strength. The first thing he does is immediately beat up the Justice League. Like, he just hands them their ass, no problem. Okay, I'm sure there are probably some of you out there who are like, that's the stupid Whedon version of the movie. The Zack Snyder version is gonna be totally different and totally better. Which, okay, sure, but here's the thing. Zack Snyder filmed at least some of this scene. Like, here's video evidence of him filming it. Henry Cavill even seems to be wearing the same thing he wore in the theatrical version. And he doesn't even have a mustache in this. So it doesn't look like the suit has a particular function like it does in the comics. It's not doing anything to help aid or speed up Superman's recovery. It just kind of looks cool. Well, as it turns out, the recovery suit is not the only black suit Superman has worn in the comics. In the 2015 miniseries Superman, Lois and Clark, a pre-Flashpoint Superman and Lois Lane arrive on a post-Flashpoint Earth. In order to keep their anonymity but still go out and do Superman things, Superman dons a black suit so as to not call too much attention to himself. And we have seen Superman wear black outside of comics. In Smallville during the last season, Superman wore a black Matrix-looking costume, but that was mostly because, heaven forbid, they put Superman in the classic costume in their Superman TV show. And black has been used for Superman's costume in stories like Kingdom Come or Our Worlds at War. Here, his entire costume isn't black, but there's enough black on there to realize that something is different about this character. As per comic book resources, in all of these situations, black acts as a precursor to the return or the appearance of Superman proper. It signals that the world is currently in a dark, hopeless place, but Superman will appear to help get us through that darkness. And based on the theatrical cut of Justice League, yeah, that actually happens. Superman comes back, the world is in chaos, but eventually Superman helps his friends defeat the chaos. Assuming that Zack Snyder's version of Justice League follows the same basic plot skeleton of the theatrical cut, that should still happen. So the suit doesn't really seem to serve a function in terms of plot and story, but it does seem to serve a function in terms of the themes of the movie. Okay, that sounds cool, but now the question becomes, how long is Superman going to be wearing the black suit in the Snyder cut of the movie? In the theatrical cut of the movie, Superman comes back to life, spends some time on his mother's farm, and then helps his friends beat Steppenwolf. That's not a whole lot of Superman time in the version we got. I know the Snyder cut is supposed to be significantly longer, so it stands to reason that Superman is going to be doing a lot more than what we initially saw him do. But will it be enough to justify the use of a brand new suit for this movie? If he's just going to wear it for the scene where he meets Alfred, that kind of seems like a waste of time if you ask me. But then again, if that's the case, they probably would not have gone through all the trouble of making a black suit for one specific scene. In that case, they probably would have just CGI'd over the traditional Superman suit, kind of like a reverse of what they actually wound up doing. So it looks to me like Superman is gonna wear the black suit for a significant portion of the back half of the Snyder cut before ultimately returning to the classic look that we're used to him being in. And I'll say this, Superman doesn't often get multiple costume changes per movie. We see it happen with Batman all the time, and now it even looks like Wonder Woman is getting in on the action. So it'll be nice for Superman to also have a reason to not just wear the standard costume for the course of the movie. It's kind of nice. Gives more action figure variety. In the end, this really is another example of the whole crazy behind the scenes story of this particular movie. It seems like with each new piece of footage or a still picture, whatever that gets released, more and more gets added to this complicated drama. Remember, then COO of Warner Brothers, Toby Emmerich, did say at the time that Joss Whedon was brought on board to finish the movie as is and to try and match Zack Snyder's style and tone as close as possible. That clearly did not happen, and this black suit is more evidence that some sort of shenanigans happened behind the scenes. Maybe one day we'll get the full story of what happened with the production of Justice League. Regardless of how you feel over #release the Snyder Cut, it's hard to argue that the behind the scenes stuff is nothing short of fascinating. And I know that Sean O'Connell is writing a book on the subject, but something official from Warner Brothers or DC, that would be something. Ultimately, what do I think of the black suit? Who really cares? Instead, tell me what you think of it either down below in the comments or anywhere on the internet. If you want to read some black suit Superman stories for yourself, I'll have Amazon affiliate links in the description below. And of course, don't forget that we have new videos on this channel every single Tuesday and Wednesday, with Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern being Wolf Den Live. So subscribe to see all of that. Like this video and share it with a friend who prefers their Superman to be a bit more monochromatic, because the old primary color look, that's so passé, daddy-o. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you next time. Wear a mask.